Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Doinita here and Edyta.
Hello.
And today we have Molly Flanagan, a beautiful guest that we had the gift and the blessings to connect and interview about a month ago, right? So thank you for
Yeah,
being our guest on our YouTube channel before. And so good to have you back with us today, where we will explore and have a lovely conversation, I'm certain of it, about womanhood. And what else? Who knows what else will come out of it, right? But just we thought it would be
absolutely.
wonderful to connect and just chat.
Yeah, thank you so much, both of you, for having me. And hi, everyone. It's so great to be here exploring this very rich topic.
Yes. So where shall we begin? What's coming to you? How has this last month been for you, Molly? Being a young mother and navigating these energies that we're in, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it's been wild. Um, it's really the perfect topic. When we had our last conversation here, obviously it was present for me, and we were focusing on myself and my own motherhood journey to some extent. But it's really become even more of the focus over the last few weeks. And thanks also to the session that we had, Janita, where you really brought forward the importance of my own womb wisdom. And that's really been what I've been exploring for the last several weeks. And what's different when I am operating from my head versus my heart versus my womb. Very different intelligences in these different parts of our bodies.
oh, nice. Will you elaborate a bit about this? Your personal exploration of these three different areas.
Yeah. You know, Obviously, regardless of what body we're in, we have receptive centers. And so for men, that receptive center, male-bodied people, the receptive center is the heart. And for female-bodied people, it's our womb space. And I think for me in the transition, the many life transitions that I've been in over the last few years, it's really been about descending down into the womb center where we can access our desire and also learn how to receive. So, for a lot of my life, and I think our cultural conditioning, even across different cultures, there's a lot of conditioning to operate from head and maybe heart. But we kind of get afraid of, well, if we go down lower than that in the body, it gets, dicey and it's dangerous and not to be trusted. But actually, what I'm realizing is that as a woman, the most important thing for me in my life at this point is to learn how to listen to the wisdom of my womb and allow my desires to come to me through an effortlessness. It's not that there is an effort, but it's a different way of manifesting.
The
Does that
effort is,
make sense?
yeah, the effort, what I'm hearing, the effort is just staying present in the moment, right? And allowing.
Yeah, and allowing and magnetizing too. That's our natural state when our womb wisdom is activated and we're listening and we're attending to it and we're accepting it. That's when we can draw things to us without effort, without outward effort.
Definitely, is a big center of our intuition for us
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
it has
it's
its
not.
own voice.
Yes,
Oh,
and it's
sorry, go ahead.
not. No, it's not easy to trust it, especially when we are in our heads for a long time, or just life happening.
Or even the conditioning of,
Yes,
the suppression of the feminine for how many centuries?
yes,
They're bringing, they're bringing the society, the culture, the conditioning, the personal experiences, like what we absorb, what we look around, and the first 7 years, what you see the world, and you're like, okay, that's the truth. And then we forget that to readjust as we grow older.
Yeah, definitely we are balancing the female and male energy right now. It's still a lot of male energy, I would say in a negative light. But we are, all of us, both male and female, we are changing this because it just doesn't work. And I think it comes out really natural for all of us right now. Men are getting more feminine, more just gentle. This is what I want to say. And as women, we are trusting more our intuition and just being more women than that we used to be before. It's like, I think that what is happening right now, we are balancing this.
And what I'm picking from this as well is by trusting, by allowing us to be women, right? Relaxing into that. That's we're activating that masculine within us, the strength.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
By allowing our softness to shine, we're activating the masculine within us. The power, the strength, the balanced action when needed.
But in a balanced way, not
action,
being
yes.
too manly, just
that was in a balance,
soft, gentle, and by using our intuition, we are more creative. And when we are more creative, that life force is, I think it's just happening strongly for all of us. It's like we have to be creative. We can't just be like rigid in our head. This is what I feel. This is what I see lately for all of us.
Yeah, and I want to add pleasure to that too, because so it's like intuition, creativity, and also I feel that as women, our receptive center being connected with our pleasure centers is no accident, and it's not something like for a long time we've been in a state of restriction or denial or like focusing on what is pleasure for a male-bodied person. And I think now more than ever is a time for us to embrace our own pleasure. And we have a special role to play in this rebalancing at this collective level because we get to say, yeah, we have to desire, we have to allow what we really want, what's going to give us the most joy to be what drives us out of some of these really destructive and oppressive narratives that we've been living in and fear into a place where pleasure is at the center of our lives.
Yes, and that doesn't mean, how to say it? It's not about sex. This is more about connecting with the pleasure, but this is all coming from just being more open to ourselves and just like we know what we want, and finally we can express what we want. And like you said, those centers are connected, so more we are able to connect with those centers, then we are more happy. And if we are in a relationship, we have a family, whatever, then everything just goes very natural, and we are just expressing ourselves better this way.
Yeah. Exploring becoming more intimate with ourselves.
Yes.
And life.
And accepting that, and not being, feel like this is something wrong about it.
Yeah, I mean, even still in this conversation, I can feel that little voice in me that's been cultured into me to not trust. And there's a voice of danger, don't go there, or you're being selfish, or you can't possibly have all those things that you want. So don't even imagine that it could be, right? And I think the first step, at least for me, is to acknowledge those voices and to differentiate. Like, that's not me. That's something that I inherited, but it's not my essence. And only when we do that and start to peel it apart can we start to actually even consider the question of what do we want, right? Because that's what it is at the end of the day. What do I really want?
Exactly.
And it's funny because what do I really want? But first of all, from myself.
Yes, exactly.
From, yeah.
And when we know, like when if I know what I want from myself, that it's much easier to communicate with everybody around and just express myself. It's like, this is what I want. So agree or not? Let's talk about that.
That's where I'm coming to that, this is what the powerful and importance right now for me, I think for everybody, to really go within and to get curious about
Yeah.
who we really are.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like who we really are at the core level, in our, because we're so unique. And to start peeling those layers of identity that do not match the frequency of our core.
And us suppressing our feminine energies for centuries. So this is where we are right now, all of us, because it was out of balance.
It's big time out of it. So much what I'm feeling is like also like within me, this still the constriction, still the discomfort. And I keep reminding myself there is nothing to fix. Just relax and breathe into the discomfort, breathe into the constriction, bring the awareness into those parts of me, those deeper layers of me that are feeling inadequate, that are feeling out of sorts and out of balance and uncomfortable. To see the light, to see the light, to be in the light. And just that's it, just love it. Just be with that and just allow it to be uncomfortable, constricted.
I think it's
You
first
know?
like accepting
What
because
is.
sometimes to loving it, it's a
It's a-
way,
But that's
it's
what
a
I
long
said.
way.
That's why I said it's like first just sit with it and
Yeah.
just accept it. Be okay with
The uncomfortable
what it is.
yes.
Give
Yeah.
permission, because it's like almost like get curious and give permission to that constriction within your body, to that discomfort, to that maybe shame, maybe guilt, maybe those deep frequencies, deep emotions, feelings that are maybe yours, maybe not, but almost like what do they need?
Hmm.
It's interesting because Molly is a young mother. I'm a grandma already. And Doinita is mothering so many
So many
species.
beings. Probably more children than either of us, right?
But we are all mothers. We are all mothers, but in a different way. So this is interesting because we can talk and speak from our experiences. It's just so beautiful. Doesn't matter really. We are always mothers, and that was kind of, I feel like, was taking away from us as a something that we should be doing, accepting, and be proud of it, and just be happy about it. And I think this is where we are going right now, going back to what's supposed to be mother, and that's the core, I think, for us.
The
Women.
nurturers.
Yes.
Embrace the nurturers in us.
And get to choose it too, right? Like there's something about coming home to that aspect of ourselves, not because it's been imposed upon us or it's our biological imperative, but because this is actually a path of growth and transformation and self-realization. And I think, you were speaking, Danita, about that discomfort. And for me, I think it's been so important to be able to acknowledge, yeah, this is really hard sometimes. And sometimes I have to give at times that I don't want to give. Like, I want to go have a massage or go to a yoga class, and I have to make the lunch and feed the kids and do the things. Um, but in allowing myself to just be honest about that, I've also been surprised to find that I've been able to take more joy in mothering. I've been able to then acknowledge more freely and without any shoulds. This actually really fills me up. And this actually is a way of nurturing myself. Not the only way, but there is something that is really nourishing for me about caring for my family. And that feels oddly revolutionary to say at this particular moment in time.
When I used to grow up, that was like mothers used to go to work, the kids used to go to kindergarten or school, and the family was very disconnected, very, and was always should. I should, or I should, or something was just like not having so much of joy from being mother because was really wasn't really possible to do it. It was just always some other things, some other chores that was brought up by the system. And right now I see the change in the young mothers. They want to take so much of the pleasure, the joy, the happiness from being mother. And
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how I feel for sure. And I think for a long time women fought to have the right to work, right? And to have the right to have self-realization outside of the home. And that's so important. And I'm grateful for all that all the mothers and women before us did to make that possible for us today. But if it comes at the cost of being able to have and express yourself in whatever way is true for each of us as a woman, including motherhood, then that's not balanced, right? That's the imbalance that we started off this conversation talking about. So, at least for me in this, after now having my second kid, it's I see how big this role is for me in my life, how important it is to me, and I want to have balance. I want to have space for that. I don't want to just focus on that. There are other things I want to focus on, but it needs to be in right relationship. All these parts of my life need to operate in harmony, and that's really my goal.
That's what I feel that, yeah, that's what I'm striving, that's where I'm dancing between that balance with all the pieces in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a conversation with a beautiful woman yesterday, and she never had a pet in her life, right? And suddenly she's older, she's looking after her friend's dog. And it was almost like she needed a break, so she gave the dog back to another friend for a weekend to have just to sleep, to lay down, to have time for herself. And then we had a chat yesterday, and I was like, that's the mastery of finding the balance where we can, because she missed the dog, but then she missed her free time, the time before the dog, right? So we had this little talk. I was like, yes, but it's about finding that balance where you still love the dog and walk the dog and take care of the dog and have your time to lay in bed and meditate and nurture your needs and your heart and your mind and whatever else you need. So it's
We're talking about partnership.
partnership doesn't
Doesn't matter.
matter.
It's a
That doesn't
partner,
matter. It's a
friends or neighborhood or
it's
whatever.
it doesn't
Whoever.
matter. Even
Yeah.
partnership within yourself.
Yes.
Finding that balance within yourself. Oh, I want to be lazy, or I want to, I don't know. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just finding that peace within.
Yeah, but having a child is a little bit different than having a dog. So
Yes, but it's ultimately it's on a soul level. So it's
Yes.
like this is my life.
yes,
So
finding time for yourself.
finding that's the
Yes.
essence.
But yeah, that comes up from the partnership, and like you said, be a partner for yourself, and and partner with somebody, whoever is in your life at the time, and just share not everything. um, like we used to take care of everything really, but this is how we've been brought up, and we've been taught that this is the way how it's supposed to be, and
Well,
we get tired at some point
well,
and had some realization that shouldn't be this way.
I grew up with a single mother, so my father was not part of my life. You know, they divorced when I was 3 months old. So full time working mother. She, you know, I was lucky that she took me to work with her and da da da. She was in kindergarten, but she was working a lot. And when, you know, coming home from school, heating up my food, I spent a lot of time alone. So of course, yeah, it wasn't like it was necessarily drilled into me, but I was watching and I took in as this is how it's done. And it's like I took like that's the truth. This is how it's done. So I grew up and I was a working horse myself, literally, completely disconnected from what I like, what I want. There was not even present. Those questions weren't even present. Who I am. I was invisible. I was a working horse. I was here to serve. I was here to, well, it doesn't matter, you know, the society, the collective, the whatever, but in an unbalanced way. From a place of, like, not the womb, not the heart, but the distorted masculine within me that was.
I was a single mother of two, so I sometimes my girls were calling me dad just because I could be very strict. But I'm so proud of my daughters right now because they had the realization. It's like, this is not the way. We are not going to live this way. It's like if I decided to have a family, I want to be with somebody who has exactly the same idea for life. So so that's why I see the changes in a younger generation and in a younger man. It's that was so cute to me the first time when I heard, because before it was like my wife or my woman is pregnant. Right now it's like we are pregnant. And this is so sweet and so cute. I love that. And that shows how much we already changed for the better.
I feel really fortunate to have a partner who embraces the role of father and loves taking care of our kids, and even with that, it's still a lot. So I bow down to all the single parents out there who've walked this road alone. And I don't think anyone ever does it truly alone because it's just too great of a responsibility. And as people, we need influences
Mm-hmm.
from multiple different sources, right? But when you're a single parent, I can only imagine just how much has like it's never truly never ending. Um, and yeah, I think listening to both of you, I hear this like the distorted masculine, but also then the challenge of learning how to occupy both your masculine and your feminine together. And that I make up might be a gift of the journey. Like you said, Edyta, like I could be strict, like you step into your dad role. Um, but I think we're circling on this other piece around permission to ask for help too from our community, from our chosen family or extended family, and also from our kids, from the people that we're caring for. Like my daughter is turning 3 at the end of the month. And so I've decided that for her third birthday, I'm going to start teaching her embodiment practices, meditation practices in a way that's suitable for her age. But something I miss as a parent is that I don't have as much time for my meditation in the morning when I really want it. And for a while, I was looking at it as like resistance. this is a drag for me, this is a loss. And then I realized, no, I can just bring her into it and invite her to partner with me so that we both get it. And it will be an experiment. I don't know if she's going to be up for it, but that's my intention.
I think it's going to be so much fun.
It is definitely going to be so much fun. That's you brought a good point to that I missed to say before, about that we're never alone. I mean, and we were expected to do it alone. Almost like it was asking for help was not, it was frowned upon. But we're not. There is support and really understanding and allowing to receive support, to trust, to know that the universe is always here to support us.
But we are waking up to it.
Exactly,
right now.
that's now. But
Yeah.
it's like just by that, softening and allowing support, allowing help in. Trusting that, the world is not here to get you, but it's like there is support. The right people will come to you when you really allow, kind of drop into your heart and belly, take a deep breath and relax and allow.
I mean, I had a lot of people, they were helping me when my girls were young. I wasn't totally alone because it wasn't impossible even. I worked sometimes 2, 3 jobs. So I was always people, they were helping. But that wasn't the way how supposed to be, And that's why I'm just like very impressed with the younger generation, with younger men. They are being more responsible for their life choices, and this is not like it used to be. I mean, in Europe was like my wife kids. It was like our kids, and we just grew up like this. So that's a big step. That's a big change, and it's beautiful.
The interesting thing, for a while, I was angry with my father. Growing up, he was not. So it's like a lot of that. And then in one of my ceremonies, many years ago, I was in Peru, I think, ayahuasca ceremony. I was shown like I was shown my father, like I was feeling my father, what he was going through around the time, and the realization that he wasn't ready to become a husband. He wasn't ready to become a father. He wasn't mature. He wasn't ready. And it was just the society, the pressure, the
pressure, get married, have the kids, and everything.
The pressure and the, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's like it was expected. It was the expectation. You have to be, you're a certain age, you have to be married, you have to have children. And I saw him, how extremely overwhelmed he became, that he shut down. So he wasn't looking after me. He was shut down from the whole world, from himself. So
I'm not blaming men for not being, responsible. Also, they grew up this way too. That was, like you said, it was expected from them to get married and have a kids, and sometimes they were not ready at the age, or they were not ready at all. But nobody was
listening to them.
I mean, nobody was even talking about that. That's it. That you need to get married, and otherwise it's something wrong with you.
The same with the women, remember?
Yeah.
It's like if you're older than 20, if you get 20 to 25, you are you're good for nothing.
Yes. Yeah, so over the what, like 50 years, we changed so much, really. Even less.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens now, because like for me, I'm having kids close to 40, right? So I'm somebody who waited because I wasn't ready. And same with my partner. We were enjoying other aspects of life, but I think there's a ripening that we need to let happen so that it's coming from our own desire as opposed to these outward pressures. And I'm curious what will happen the more this healing work happens by each successive generation, if that will continue to be the case, or if people in future generations will be able to embrace the role of parenthood sooner. Because we're working through something right now, right? It's all part of that rebalancing. And I even see this in some of the younger people in my life where there's actually an openness to parenting earlier in life than was I could never have conceived of it in my 20s. It was like I need freedom, I need to do my thing, I need to go on my quests, and I can't be responsible for somebody else. And I'm so fortunate to and privileged to have been able to have that choice, because obviously it's not that way for so many people in the world yet.
Yeah, I see that with the younger generation too, like younger people, that they're ready. Like they're parenting, having children when they're very young.
And they're very responsible.
And they're very responsible, very healthy and holistic. And I was like, wow, where did you come from? Because it's like
From our mistakes.
from our mistakes. Like it's like amazing. And they managed to have children, businesses, happy, partners, and it's just flow. They managed to have a healthy flow in their life. And that's just so beautiful to see.
I think this is what changed over 30 years, and this is incredible. I think we were just so suppressed that we just want the changes to happen, and it's a turbulence time for everybody right now, but I think definitely we are in the right path.
So it's just just a story, it's just to share because it's kind of funny now for me. But when I was 18, from the age of 18, even though my mom wanted me to get married and have children, even though she got married when she was 30. But it was like she wanted me to settle down because she wanted me to have a better probably life than she did, because she was, anyway. Long story short, what did I do? I left whenever I could, I left the country and I just moved across the ocean because it's like, and I still remember many times when she was just saying that, I was like, you get married, you have kids. Kind of like, leave me alone. So my way of rebellious is just packing and moving across the pond to explore. And I love my mom, and we have very good, we're very close. And now she understands, she knows, she sees me. But at the time, it was also from her upbringing, her conditioning. She didn't want me to suffer. She didn't want me to go through
That's why I said we learn from our
mistakes,
our parents' mistakes. I mean, not mistakes, just just life experiences. We want to experience something different, and our kids and grandkids, they are experiencing something else. So it's a beautiful time. It's really beautiful time for all of us. We are connecting more with our heart, and men are connecting with their heart, and this is beautiful. Really, they are more able to express their feelings. They are not afraid of expressing their feelings. They are not afraid of even crying, wearing bright colors. They are expressing themselves. So it's not just for us, but it's for both of us, the female and male energy. So beautiful.
Yeah,
time.
of course. It really is. And I want to go back to something you were saying, Donita, about like your mother's dreams for you, because it's something that I think a lot about now parenting, where I, and it's one of the reasons that I want to be able to access my own desires for myself and really own them so that I'm not like putting them on my children. Of course, I'm going to have dreams for them. And, I don't think this process can really ever be fully separated, but I want to be able to see them in their wholeness and like be curious about what are the dreams that they came into this life with, and how can I support them in having their own dreams. And like you were saying, Edyta, have both that masculine and feminine, to be able for my son to be able to have his emotions and to be able to express them. And not be boxed into any rigid definitions, as well as my daughter. So there's something here, I think, again, about like continuing to come back to ourselves in relationship that is for me just so present right now in my life and in my parenting.
That's beautiful. It, I have a question for you, Molly, and actually for you, Edyta, because, and it's interesting because, well, your son is still little, right? How many?
Yeah.
It's just what, 3 months old
3 months
today?
today, yeah.
Yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes.
Yeah.
Happy
Mhm.
birthday. But
Mhm.
what my curiosity is, have you noticed, observing your daughter, she's turning 3 years old, do you notice a difference in
Oh
her
yeah.
from like the generation? I don't know if you remember yourself at 3 years, but you kind of remember through the womb, through the fifth heart senses. Can you share with us what do you notice from a girl's, the young?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you asked this because right now she is just in princess phase. It came online in the last couple of weeks, and it is like she is in her full princess mode. Um, she's recently seen one of these Disney movies, Elsa, and it's all about being Elsa and Anna, the other character, and um, it feels there's a part of me that obviously has my own baggage around some of that stuff and like I think fear of I don't want her getting boxed into something that's going to be constrictive. But when I look at her, there's just joy. There's just like love of colors and dressing up and making magic and I also observe in her, and this is not just now at 3, but I think has been a thread since she started to come online of like nurturing. Like I mean, her son is in Taurus, so she comes with that like very Venusian quality just innate in her. But um, she's so attentive with her brother. She's so caring. She's like paying close attention to what does he need and oh he's saying this even though he's not talking yet. She can intuit like exactly what's going on with him and it's really beautiful and it just feels so pure to me. It feels so like not the result of conditioning. This is something that she brought into this lifetime. And I know that not every kid is like that, right? Like some people really, it's going to be a big part of their life and others not so much. But for her, it definitely is. And I think I'm getting healing from that because I can just be in the pure joy of nurturing with her.
Mm,
What
nice.
about you, Adita?
Because you have a grandson. That's why I was like, can you share, like, who do you see? How is he?
That's a different story.
How old is your grandson?
He is going to be 6 actually next 3 months. Yes. So, um, and I'm just joking. I'm laughing that universe, the God sent me grandson to really see how man works.
Yeah, because you have two daughters.
Yes, yes. So it's a beautiful experience. He loves all his characters when he watch movies too. But also he loves nature. So he's so connected to the nature. Every time he comes visit us here in Florida, he just can't wait to go to the beach and just play with the sand and be in the water. So my daughter definitely and her partner are keeping him kind of in a balance of just in like enjoy whatever he wants to enjoy in a kind of in a moderate way, but he is full of happiness and full of joy, and just being around him is definitely a reminder to me, just just it is what it is, and just be happy at this moment. He can bring that energy definitely instantly like that. um, yeah, it is definitely different. He's a boy, so he loves to pillow fight so hard that sometimes I'm just like, wait a second, I don't have more strength to beat you up like this. Um, so it's different. So I think it's always going to be the differences between female and male. Just they have a more strength. They are more, muscly and things like this, and we are more, I think, gentle, and we have more of the intuition. When he was younger, he can still see the chakras on people. But right now it's like he's at school, so he is learning so many other things. So all the other aspects are kind of like going down, which I try to bring it back for him because I think it's fun to be able to see the energy. But it's a totally different experience and totally different perspective for me than having two girls.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned pillow fights though, because it makes me think, and of course my son is still very young, but I think we can connect with their essence right away, right? My daughter is totally the pillow fighter of the two of them. She's got this sort of like bullish energy about her and loves to roughhouse with my partner.
Mhm.
Um, and my son just has this very like sweet, soft energy to him. I imagine that he'll be like a poet or a piano player or something. Like he has a completely different quality of energy, and maybe that will all change, and he'll be,
That's
doing
what
the
I was
pillow
about
But
to
fights
but
say.
I think they are
too. But
more feminine, but in a positive way.
yeah,
It's like my
yeah,
grandson definitely it's very gentle. He's like right away. He's like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" He's like, it's so easy for him to connect with other people's emotions. So he's always like caring for others and making sure that everybody is okay, that everybody is happy around him. So it definitely, I see that such a sweet, side of him. So yeah, just like,
It's beautiful to see them connected and embracing their emotions.
yeah. And he is
yeah,
so funny with expressing and talking about his emotions. That it's just so funny. But my daughter is teaching him that it's okay to express his emotions. It's okay to cry, and it's okay to all do all the things, and they're just going to talk about that. So it's cute. It's so nice.
so sweet.
Hmm.
Mm.
I think it's we are really waking up to, like, we started talking, and Doinita mentioned it before, that we are finally are able to see that life is not hard, doesn't have to be, and it's not here to get us. We can we can live and have fun and enjoy our life and enjoy our journey, not just survive. Not
Yeah,
everything must be or should be, or all those hard words. Yeah, we used to use, like, I must to do this, I have to do this. Right now it's like, uh, maybe I can do this, or or not today.
Or like, for example, here's an example. Yesterday I know Sunday, I planned to mop my floors, right?
mm,
And then I was part in the class. But anyway, so it's like when the time came, I was like, I don't really feel like it. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, maybe. That would have never happened 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years ago, whether I was, you know, even if
Exhausted and
the
tired.
fact is that I wanted or didn't want, that wasn't even on the
Yeah.
on the bar. That was
yeah,
not even considered. But whether even if I was exhausted or tired, exhausted, I didn't feel good, for example, right? I would have done it. I would have done
yeah,
it because it was
Must.
it was an expectation from myself to myself,
Yeah.
because ultimately we are the ones that are expecting the most of ourselves. Because nobody,
Yeah.
if you look around, really, everybody's preoccupied with their own little lives. Nobody really cares that much about, well, not
I mean,
cares, but
yeah.
like in terms of like, because everybody's busy living life.
But when I'm not sure about you, Molly, but we grew up very like in a small places with a lot of people. So even if you want to pay attention to your life, it's like always was somebody paying even more attention to what you are doing. So, and those expectations, like, you know, people were coming to the house, and that was like your chore and also your fault if the house wasn't ready or prepared for a guest or something like this. I remember that wasn't even my mom. I think that was my aunt. Maybe she said that's your it's like the way how your husband partner looks like. This is this is he's representing you, so you need to make sure that he has nice clothes and they are clean.
They had the same in
And I
Moldova.
was like, and I was like, no, that's not my. Well, I think I was teenagers. That's like, this is not my job. It's like, he has the two hands. He can go to the closet and pick it up something for himself. He is like separate human being from me. I don't. I This is not my responsibility to make sure if he looks okay for who I don't know either. But that was just so much of those old rigid belief system and like traditions and expectations, and I remember I was always fighting with that. And
Or the same with like the house. It shows if the house is not clean and everything put like licked, then it shows what kind
lazy
of
lazy
woman
woman
you
you
are.
are.
Yes, it's like that kind of things. It's like you have a
Yeah.
child. Did you grow up with something like this? How was it
Um,
here in US? Because Europe was special.
It's still.
yeah. Well, I'm listening to the two of you and I'm thinking about my own childhood, and I think it was a little different for me. One location, right? So I grew up in New England, so I did have some of that like puritanical, there's some rigidity, and this like the Protestant work ethic was very much alive in my family, and I think sometimes in good ways and sometimes in detrimental ways. But for my parents, our home was their shared project and their shared work of art. My mom being an artist and my dad being a builder. And so they, for 30 years, like worked on this home that we lived in out of love more than anything. And I don't think I really appreciated that until the last couple of years. I mean, obviously, I had sort of an idyllic childhood in that regard, and it was beautiful and a beautiful place to grow up. But now I can see it now that I'm embracing my own role as mother and as householder. I can understand just what a gift it was that they gave me because it wasn't motivated. Well, I don't know what was in their inner narrative, but I know that there was a lot of love in how they tended to the home. Um, and somehow I still got that inner general that you were both describing, like in myself, sort of forcing myself to do the cleaning and the cooking when I didn't feel like it. So I don't know. That's a question that I have. It's like even with all this, I still
Be-
was beating myself up and still do.
because it's in the collective, because it's in our DNA, it's in our it's in the air. It was in the air. I mean,
Yeah,
what
in the
can I
water.
say? It was in
In
the
the
air.
air. Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it was just present. I know that my mom
But
actually, I grew up in the capital, so it wasn't quite like this, but still, in the school, at work, everybody
yeah.
had to mind everybody's business. But then it just was a lot of la la la. But the nice way of saying it. But my mom was a little bit of rebellious because it was like she kind of didn't mingle much. She didn't like any of that. So we didn't have a lot of friends. And sometimes if we didn't feel like cleaning, so she didn't, she installed in me, like she taught me how to do everything proper, how to clean. But at the same time, sometimes if we on Saturday we were lazy, we wouldn't clean. So there was dust, there was stuff everywhere, and we didn't care. And then I grew up, I came to US, I joined yachting, which it reinforced all that I picked from the air, all that. And it was on steroids. To the point was like that
Yeah.
cleanliness, like I had to. It was a must clean something that is already clean. Otherwise I can't breathe. It was just so bizarre how I think we're just having our own experiences.
Yeah.
We have to.
But it's also in the how, right? Because there's that famous saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. So so whatever the chores are, the responsibilities that we have to fulfill, they're consistent in our lives. And it's how are we in relationship with them? Can we find joy in the process? If something doesn't give us joy, can we change it? Can we find someone else to do it? Can we, if not, then it's incumbent upon us to find joy in the process somehow. Otherwise, what is our life, right? What
Or like the
um
same with that. It's like yesterday I didn't feel like it. Do they really need to? Yeah, according to me, according to you, probably not. But I'm still dealing
I
with that.
cured myself from it.
I'm curing. I'm cured too, but I also have pets and stuff. So, it's about the balance. But yesterday I honored that I did not feel like doing it.
Yeah.
I honored that. That's what I see is like I am healing. But it's like I'm embracing, I'm rebalancing by honoring how I feel in the moment. And then honestly, because there might be tomorrow and I was like, oh, I want to do it now. Then I have the stamina, I have the energy, and it's like I put some music and I do it in half the time than when I drag my legs behind me. And it's a joy. It's like a workout, and I feel actually more energized. So it's like really paying attention to how we feel in the chores.
Yeah, coming out from our own boxes.
Yes, and like lunch, for example, oh, I have to make lunch. All right, but maybe you don't feel like making a, five-star gourmet lunch, but maybe something simple today and something nourishing,
Yeah.
involving maybe bringing your daughter, 3-year-old, to help.
Or just show her, enjoy the creation
Oh, but
together.
help, but by helping, like I used to do that. I used to love it. She didn't, but I used to love actually sitting in the kitchen while my mom was cooking. And I was talking to
mhm.
her. So that's help. I
Mm-hmm.
was cheering her up because she was tired from full time, day of full, working and cooking and da 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 da. But I was chatting to her. So that was like
Yeah.
moral help.
Yeah, and I think about this a lot also in terms of how I'm raising my kids because I I don't want to just clean up after them all the time. Right now there's a lot of that still happens, and my husband and I are just like it feels like we are always cleaning, and the moment you put things away you're smiling at Edyta because it's like they come right back out.
Yep.
um and so I want to teach her how to clean, but not because she'll be judged if she doesn't do it, but because the house feels better if we do it. And also to like there's dishes in my sink right now and I didn't bother to clean those last night and I will do it maybe sometime today, right? But that I think that we can also teach first ourselves and then those we're in relationship with that it's okay to rest. It's okay. That's actually we need to fill up our tank, like you were saying, Donita, before we can give again in whatever way we're being asked to give.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like a chore, like something that I have to do it. It's like, no, I'll do it whenever I feel like, then feels just okay at the time.
Yeah, that brings a good, like, personal example, for example, being a Gemini and having, Virgo moon, but it's not even about that, but having that inner inner mind's list, right? The list. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and after this, I'll do this. It's a kind of a structure, right? But then I had, in the last few years, because I'm much better than I wasn't allowing that. But I was like, I'm so exhausted. I need a nap. I need to even lay down. I can't do anything because in this moment, my body is just depleted. So in the past, I wouldn't have allowed it. In the past, I would have just working horse, I would have just worked through it and then collapsed and felt horrible. But now, what I notice is okay, I just give myself space and time. I go lay down for half an hour. Sometimes I fall asleep, sometimes I don't. And then when I get up, I have the energy to actually accomplish maybe not everything on my list, but that's okay. It's like I'm celebrating that within me, that's okay. That maybe I'll just do one thing of that list. There is always tomorrow. But I'll choose to do the one that's important, the one that's actually it's necessary.
Last Friday I was here at Doinita's house, and we were just doing some things here, and when I got home, I dropped that for
Yeah,
5 hours. That I wouldn't years ago allowed myself to do it because it's always something more important. And I just got home,
When you
closed the door. It's like I'm done
when
for
you
5 hours.
yeah, when you left, you're like, I have so many things to do.
That was true, and I barely drove back home. I got home, just took my shoes off, and it's like bye bye. And but I thought maybe I'll be like taking nap for 30 minutes. That was 5 hours. So I got up, took a shower, and went back to sleep. So that
Well, you
wouldn't
need
happen.
to rest.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that wouldn't happen to me years ago too, because I
Mm.
force myself to just do things because they need to be done. And right now, um, I have the realization, no, they will wait for me. They will be there tomorrow.
There's none, yeah. That's everything will
Well,
still
and
be there.
we're fortunate to live in the time where, robot vacuum cleaners and other technology are hopefully going to make it easier for,
Washer and dryer
yeah,
and dishwasher and all the good stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
But
yeah.
also simplifying our lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
Simplifying our
exactly.
lives.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately we don't need that much. We want,
Yeah,
Mm,
but we
it's
don't really need that
we are
much.
waking up to that we are expecting, or we used to expect so much from ourselves.
Way
mhm.
the high
Yeah,
bar.
through so many, so
Everything.
many everything. Yeah, but right now we are at the time of our life, a lot of us, that we just like me is first. Without
Yeah.
me, nothing is going to work and exist. So I need to take care of myself at first, then everything else will work also.
Yeah. I think what you said about simplification is so important, though, also because I think back to when I was still working a 9 to 5 job in an environment that was pretty challenging and a lot of like toxic cultural elements in that organization. And the maintenance requirements for me to be okay to keep going and showing up in that space every day. I used to get like a massage once a week. It's really I needed therapy. I mean, this lifetime for me is a lot about growth and healing. So that's going to be consistent across, but I had to put a lot more effort into taking care of myself for less results and still feeling stressed, and still I was showing up to my massage appointment full of knots in my shoulders. I haven't had a massage in months. My life is getting simpler in that regard. I have less opportunity for self-care, but I feel healthier than I have ever felt. And so there's something about noticing where the depletion is coming from and actually stopping that depletion is a way of raising our well-being. And I think that's part of the like womanly wisdom that I'm really tapping into in this chapter.
Mm, so beautiful. Yes, it's almost like block was like put the, yeah, like the licking energy, the lickage, just like almost like put the corks where you lick your energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And bring it all back in and just focus on areas of that are nourishing and are replenishing.
Yeah. When there's leaks in the boat or in our being,
Everybody
we can
sings.
never get enough, right? It's never enough. I always need more. I need more. I need more because it's just leaking out the bottom. But I'm finding that as I plug those holes in my container, sufficiency is available to me. Ah, that's enough. I don't need thousands and thousands and thousands and, millions of dollars. I need less because my needs are less.
And it's also, think is like with all the licking, it's also this what that you brought a good point. It's like we grew up in a lack mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So this leaking your energy, it's also part of this lack mentality. Lack that's like there's never enough. So more, 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 more. Yet it's like things are unhealthy. So we're just leaking all these resources out of
Mm-hmm.
us. So as we heal ourselves, the core within, and coming to ourselves and noticing, bringing this awareness of where my energy is.
Or where my energy is leaking out.
Yeah, where's my energy? As like, is it here or is it everywhere else but here?
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of can realize that, wow, there is abundance everywhere. We are whole, we are abundant, and it's like the universe. There is infinite resource. There are
Yeah.
infinite resources. There is infinite everything.
We are becoming definitely healers for ourselves.
Mm,
It's like more and in touch we are with ourselves, that we know what we need, what what would be nice to happen, not what must happen, but what would be nice to just happen. So definitely, and we are very intuitive, and we are getting back to this connection with using our intuition in our daily life. Uh, and guys are also very intuitive, but just they didn't know what to do with it before, and they are tapping into it. So I see the word in a pink glasses.
And
Very very soon. Actually, it's happening right now, and like we talk about right now, it's like simple and less. It's better, really. Then we have more time and more energy to spend with ourselves and with loved ones. So
yeah. Amen to that. I couldn't agree more, and it gives me hope. You said rose-colored glasses, and yeah, I know that I'm guilty of having hope. And but I think this is the world right now. There's a lot that's falling apart. There's a lot that's not right, and there's a lot of suffering, and I don't deny any of that.
yes.
And
Mhm.
I also don't want to get lost in that because it's just one polarity. And for as much of that suffering that is absolutely the case, there's also so much healing and transformation that's happening. There's so much potential and possibility that I don't think has ever existed in the whole of humanity's evolution until now. So I feel that it's important to have and feel both, just like it's important to have and feel both our masculine and our feminine polarities. Like this is to me the reason that we all have incarnated at this time um in the world's existence.
Our priorities definitely are changing in life, and I see that it's actually for our, it's beneficial for us. Yeah.
that's beautiful. It is, if yeah, I will a few more minutes, a couple of minutes to the end, but it just feels so, yeah, such a beautiful conversation and so every time I tune in to kind of myself and the present time, the outside is noisy, the outside is chaos, the outside is a lot of everything. Change, like the new is already here, but the old has to, that's why it's here as well, because it's living, it's clearing. But when I go into my heart, it's easy to get distracted when you go out there, when you look out there. But when I go into my heart, into my body, into my womb, into myself, what I'm sensing, what I'm feeling is joy and excitement. Excitement, that kind of excitement I have never felt ever in my life, because it was never present to that depth as it is right now. So what I'm inviting everyone to just connect to yourselves, and feel what you feel and allow the joy to percolate, contemplate on how you feel in each moment, and allow yourself to feel.
But definitely beyond all of that, what is happening, it is, we were talking about that last week, it's so much joy and the excitement for the new, because we already made so many changes in our lives, in a personal level, that we are just so curious and excited for more changes.
Yeah. One of my teachers said the other day that time is space and time are illusions that serve as coordinates for us to figure out where we are in the quantum field. And I loved that perspective, because it's a good reminder that this excitement that you're describing, Doinita, it's like there's a part of us that already knows, that's already there, that's already experiencing that. And that's where the excitement comes from, is that deep inner knowing of what it looks like on the other side of this transition that we're experiencing as linear. And so I really want to second that invitation to all of our listeners as well, to connect in with that excitement and let that be a doorway to the part of you that's already on the other side, that's already living in this future state, what we perceive to be a future state, as a way to invite it into the now, into on all levels, right? That feels like one of the most important practices that any of us can engage in right now.
And whether you are a woman or a man.
That's right.
Yep. Well, ladies, is there anything else you'd like to add before we finish for today?
No, I'm good.
I just want to say thank you both so much for this rich conversation. I've so enjoyed being with you and exploring many different rich topics today.
We started with womanhood,
But that's all connected.
oh, of course, that's why we love these conversations, because it's just rich and many rabbit holes we go to. So thank you, Molly, for being here with us, and thank you everyone
Thank you so much
for listening, watching, subscribing, sharing, leaving us comments. It means more than you know, and just thank you.
We are grateful.
We're very grateful. Sending you much love, many blessings. Thank you, Molly.
Blessings.
And
Thank you.
till next time. Bye for now.